When I, in mid-BC of World of Warcraft, made my current main character, I was, surprise surprise, a filthy 10-year-old noob. My first experience with the auction house and getting a decent amount of dough was not smart nor brilliant, but in fact, straight up genius. Let's start from the beginning. So I made a Draenei shaman, ran around the Shurma style, flip-flopping my tail like a dog in heat. I was happy, I was enjoying spending time with my fellow crash survivors, when, out of nowhere, an idea suddenly struck me. I need to become a corporate whore. So, being the financial genius as I was, I did the only logical thing. Abandoned the peaceful shamanistic life and started slaying giant aquatic snake people for grey items. After gathering 10 to 20 pieces of qualified goods, I went to the auction house and sold it all for a few silver apiece. And somehow it actually sold. I got a few gold out of it a couple days in, and I was a proud noob, man. I was on top of my personal best businessman of all time list. It was truly my commercial glory days. But as the greedy space goat I was, I wanted more. Fortunately for me, a level 8 paladin was running around with something called the Blood Elf Bandit Mask, which is quite rare. I knew the value of it, so I asked him if I could buy it for 2 gold, and he accepted. After buying it, I went back to the auction house and sold it for 150 gold. He was probably just a young kid, but I'm not ashamed. But later on, at level 29, I, for some bizarre reason, started farming the mobs outside of the multi-dungeon Scarlet Monastery. Perhaps farming gold in a very unproductive, hipsterish way. That is pure pop culture. No, I get my coin through beating fanatic crusaders with my fedora and claiming their belongings for my cause. Sad as it might sound, I didn't even have a head item back then, but you'll hear more about that in a second. I have no actual clue as to what I was thinking back then, but eventually I was confident I had enough gold for some cool ass item on the auction house, so I headed back to Stormwind to cash in on my sweet reward, which I decided should be a green cap, hat, whatever this is. Very swagalicious, or whatever I have to say to get younger audiences to like this. If I recall correctly, the hat was like 40 gold buyout and 28 bid. I had 29 gold at the time, so I thought I'd just bid on it and it would be an easy home run. Wait up, can we just take a second to acknowledge the fact that 28 gold was a hefty chunk back then, especially for level 29. What did I think I'd achieve by buying a hat with spirit for an enhancement shaman? Strength was, and is, as far as I know, the only compatible stat with shamans. So I did bid on the hat, hyped to get it the next day. You would think a 10-year-old kid would want to go do something productive while waiting, like playing with Lego, game some Ratchet and Clank, or go shit talk the 9-year-olds. But no, for some, if even possible, more peculiar ass reason than the first time, I went back to Scarlet Monastery, flew all the way up there just to fucking do the same thing as before, killing normal ass mobs that can be found almost anywhere else that gave basically the same ass items and the same ass experience as any other humanoid at the same ass level. And mind you, those mobs were like level 26. I just barely got a decent amount of XP from killing them. But to be fair to my past ignorant self, I might have waited there for a dungeon group. I really wanted the helm and axe from Herod, and I think all of you know the reason for my obsession with the axe. I was a shaman with class identity problems. To finish the story, I didn't win the fancy hat, cap, whatever. Either some asshole must have bid or bought it before it timed out, or the seller took it down. Which makes no sense in any case, like, why? That hat wasn't even worth 10 gold, my 26 offer made that auction into a damn charity. So I got my gold back, but I never really stored enough up for when I got to level 40 and had to get my mount. I loaned 80 gold from my then guildmaster to buy a writing certificate and this ugly ass Elec. But it was my Elec. And yes, I did pay him back at level 56. After realizing I might have wanted to do something to get more gold, I began mining, which was surprisingly effective compared to other methods. Let's just say, if I was a rapper, I would have bars for days, son. I actually managed to do this before hitting level 60, which was one of my proudest WoW moments, being able to pay for both mount and trading myself at the same time. This didn't last for long, as I might have had to loan gold from a friend just to buy cold weather flying in Wrath.